Hi guys, this is Tim Queen and today we're going to talk about dropshipping and when you want to do some e-commerce business, should you use dropshipping or should you have your own inventory and your own storage system? I talked to a young man recently and he was super excited starting his own dropshipping business. He set up his online shop and then he explained to me how he was sourcing the products. And the problem was I could immediately see this is not going to work. Today I'm going to tell you what's the problem with dropshipping and what you should do instead. Now let's start with what dropshipping actually means for those of you who have never heard of this. The idea is, it sounds very cool if you hear this for the first time. It basically works like this. You just set up the online shop. People can buy some product, but you are not responsible for having stuff in stock. You just send this order to someone else. They will take care of this. They will create a package and take care of the logistic and send it out, and you just get the paycheck. You get some money. Some money goes to the person, to the dropshipping company, so they can send out the product. It just sounds like you have something for nothing. Now the problem with that entire model is the business model itself. Now imagine this from a point of view from the manufacturing company. If you are manufacturing something, you have a certain cost per unit, and then on top of that you have a certain profit margin. Now depending on who you're selling to and what volume you're sending, you might give them a different discount based on the volume that you're producing. For example, if you sell someone one-to-one, you will have a large profit margin, while if someone is willing to buy 1 million units, you're probably willing to go down in price. The smaller profit margin accounts because you're still getting 1 million units sold out. So meaning you have the security, you know exactly you can let your manufacturing plant run 24/7 for the next 7 months to produce 1 million units. So you have predictability for your business. You know exactly, I will be able to pay every employee's bill at the end of the month. This gives you security and allows you to make planning decisions for the long time. Now what you don't really want, you don't want to have people ordering one shirt or one item here, one item there. You prefer this large volume of orders, because this makes it very easy for you to run a profitable business. You don't have to make new decisions every month. You know just, okay, the next time I have to make a decision is in 6 months' time or in a year's time, when the next contract renewal is on the paper. Now, where does it fit in with dropshipping? Now, from a manufacturing point of view, there's basically 3 points of 3 parties you want to sell to. One could be you sell it yourself. This will usually give you the biggest amount of profit margins if you have a very high priced item. If you have something which has a smaller profit margin, you want to sell in bulk, you want to get a wholesaler on board, because that makes it easier. If you put 1 million units in one container and you ship this out, the cost per shipping drops dramatically. If you have to put one big parcel, you have to buy the box for 1 unit, you have to put a stamp on it, you have to walk to the post office. This costs you time, costs you money, costs you packaging. If you can send this in bulk to a big wholesaler, the amount of cost per unit that you have to ship is dropping dramatically. So the preferred way for most manufacturers is you going wholesale or you selling it yourself. The last point, which is giving you the least amount of revenue and security, is drop shipping, or for that matter, going to someone else, getting your orders in, and then sharing some of the profit margin. If you're selling it yourself, you get 100% of the profit margin. It's basically the same cost. You still have the packaging, you still have the stamp, you still have to spend the time walking to the post office, but you get 100% of the profit margin. In the drop shipping model, you only get part of it. Maybe you only get half of it, or maybe only 30% of that. So that's the least desirable outcome. Now, why do people do drop shipping? What is the motivation for manufacturing companies to offer that in the first place? It's because they already squeeze out as much money as they could from all the other channels. They already have all the wholesale companies, or there are not many left and it's really difficult to get a deal, or they want to have better conditions and they're not willing to go down. And they already tried selling it themselves, but they're not getting in the volume in. So they usually only agree to a dropshipping model because they feel they already exhausted all the other options. So they think, okay, maybe I can make 0.5% more annual revenue by just finding some people wanting to sell that for me. The other problem with dropshipping is that the companies who are willing to do dropshipping usually if they want to offer anyone who becomes the reseller a reasonable amount of profit margin, they have to go down in quality. Because you have to see it like this. If you are like a big wholesale seller, let's say you are Amazon and you want to sell like, let's say shirts, Amazon wants to have a certain profit margin. And when Amazon says, okay, we're going to buy 100,000 units of that, the profit margin has already dropped down. And then Amazon can still sell this at like $15 or $20. So the margin that Amazon is able to squeeze out is already dropping heavily on your price point. But if you as a small company who doesn't have the benefit of getting those huge discounts as Amazon because you don't buy 100,000 units, the only way how you can maintain the same profit margin as Amazon is by going down in quality. And that's what's happening in 99% of the cases of dropshipping products. The quality is far inferior to good quality stuff that you find on platforms like Amazon or find on your like clothing fashion store. It's far inferior to anything you find online on different online shops. So in 99% of the cases, the quality is way inferior to any online shop or to any retail store. So when you're selling the stuff, even if you manage to make a sale, you will have a high amount of refunds, returns. People will write you bad reviews because the quality is not right. And if you have like a 1-star review on your online shop, it becomes more and more difficult to sell stuff. You have to actually go and invest in advertising. Now here's another thing, advertising. It is usually quite expensive to buy a customer with ads. Imagine this. Let's say for simplicity, you pay about $1 for 1 click. How many clicks do you actually need to sell one item? And let's say your item is a shirt, $20, this is how much you are asking for it, and you can buy it for $10 at your dropshipping company. So your profit margin would be $10. If you pay $1 per click, how many clicks can you afford until you make a loss? Do you think if you get like 10 people to click, you're gonna make a sale? It could take you 100 clicks to sell one item. That means you might have to spend $100 to make a sale for a product that gives you a 10% profit. Now in this case, you would have made $90 loss. You invested $100 in advertising to sell a $20 shirt, which gives you like a 10% profit. So $100 investment minus $10 profit means $90 loss. Now, sometimes people do this and they follow this model, but they know exactly they're going to make up way more in the back end. They know I can take a loss in the beginning because on average, let's say the lifetime value of a new customer might be like $100, $500, $1,000. But if you're selling something like a t-shirt, this is just not happening. There is no follow-up stuff. People do stuff like buy a t-shirt because they do something like spontaneously. It's not like, okay, I want to buy like all the different t-shirt designs from this one dropshipping company, or I want to buy this t-shirt and I want to buy like this selfie stick and I want to buy this one. No, you have to have a very specific product portfolio for you to make any money in the back end in the long run. And this doesn't work with low price item. You need something really expensive. If you have something that gives you like a $500 profit margin or $1,000 profit margin, you can afford to spend way more money in advertising. If you actually have a sales funnel and this is just your entry product and you have an upsell. Now, if you have something like an entry-level product and then you have an upsell and then you have like a follow-up product and you have like an email sequence to sell them more stuff, you already planned out the next 6 to 12 months of additional sales that you want to do, and you have like the track record, you know this is exactly working. Then you can say, by all means, I take a $100 loss any day because I know on average, I'm going to make $300 back in the next 12 months because that's what your data is telling you. Now, if I was starting an online shop, here's what I would do. I would not do any drop shipping. I would either set up my own online shop on something like Shopify, or I would go on Amazon and set up as a third-party seller on the marketplace. Now, here's what I would do. I would find one product, which has an incredible quality and a high profit margin, and I would try to sell this. And I would start by making a calculated risk-based decision. I might buy 100 or I might buy 1,000 units. And I know I just have to sell 10% of the items to make all of my money back. This is a calculated risk. You're seeing, can you make this work for one product? Then I would spend the hell I would spend so much time getting the copywriting, the product description. I would take the pictures. I would optimize the SEO of my online shop. I would see, can I write articles about this product? Can I get on some podcasts to talk about this product? Maybe I can send some samples of this product to some influencers. Maybe I can get some reviews. Maybe I can get on radio. Maybe I can run some advertisement. Maybe I can talk to local people in the radio, on the television network. I find all the different ways. I put my stuff out on social media. I find other people who are using similar products. Maybe I find like another online shop where those two products combined would make a great combination. Maybe I get on their podcast, or I make a YouTube video with them and then they make a YouTube video with me, so we can cross-sell each other's products. I would do everything for just one product. And if this is working, then I'm seeing, can I build an audience based on that? Can I build an email list with all of my past buyers? And if I'm getting more and more people on my email list, can I then think about like what else might they need based on owning this one product? What do I know about them? What could be an additional product to sell to them? And then I would decide to add product number 2 to my portfolio. Now I have 2 products. Now I see if this is working. Same principle, same calculated risk. Buy 100 units, buy 1,000 units. See if you can make this work. Put in the effort and see how this works. And over time, you can add product number 3, you can add product number 4. Then you can start thinking of outsourcing some stuff. At the beginning, you might do this from your own living room. You put like all the items in one box and every night you're shipping out new stuff. Then over time, when it's starting to kick off, you can outsource your inventory. Get someone handling your entire inventory, get someone to ship them out, create a process, create a system so they can do it on autopilot. But start with a really high quality product and use that to gain the experience, to sell something that you're proud of selling, and then add another product, another product, another product. But start with the quality first. If you want to build an online shop in 2020, reputation is your most important success factor at all. You really want to build a reputation for having something truly unique, for something that's of high quality. People are happy to, you're getting a ton of 5-star reviews, you're getting everyone to talk about it, you're investing a lot of time getting the product description right so people really understand the value they're getting, and then scale up from that. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about dropshipping? Have you ever tried it? Do you disagree? Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.